Good morning. Today's Tuesday, August 12th, and it is beautiful out today. The sun is coming down, it's humid, but not too bad, and the garden is producing. August is very, very busy. It's probably my busiest time of the year for the garden because everything is producing right now like crazy and everything needs to be preserved. So if I'm not out in the garden harvesting, I'm in the kitchen preserving, which means most of the maintenance that goes on in the garden is kind of not happening this time of year because I just don't have the time. But most of the time by now the plants don't need as much help. I got this little haul this morning. I'll say like probably every other morning at this point, I'm getting a basket about this size. I'm getting a ton of Roma tomatoes, and yes, I pick them before they are perfectly red. I like to get them when they blush and I let them just ripen on the counter. I'm also getting a lot of jalapenos right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the basket. I've got one poblano pepper. Poblano started off really strong, then they kind of tapered out, and now they're like back strong again. I have a whole, let's see if you can see it. This whole section right here is green beans. I got probably twice this amount 2 days ago. So tonight we're gonna have some barbecue chicken sandwiches and green beans on the side, and a lot of them. I love a fresh green bean, so we're gonna be eating a lot of those this week. I also managed to get 3 cucumbers, which is very surprising. This is like the little gherkin variety. I kind of gave up on my cucumbers because of the beetle pressure this year was just insane. And I actually went to a farmer's market yesterday and bought a peck of them, which, fun fact, a peck is a unit of measure, which I didn't realize. And then I thought of the nursery rhyme, like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of, yeah, pickled peppers. Yeah, peck is like, it was like a box, similar in size to this harvest basket. I actually bought 2 of them thinking I needed 2. They were like $12 each. I was like, I'll get 2, I'll make a ton of pickles. And then I got like halfway through the first one and I was already on like jar 8 of pickles. And I texted my friend who needed some and I was like, hey, do you want to come get these cucumbers? Like, I do not need both packs. So she took one, I took one. I made 17 jars of pickles because I didn't think my garden was going to do anything. And then this morning, of course, I got 3 cucumbers, which is fine. I'll make another jar. And then the tomatoes were turned into salsa. I canned up 14 jars last Friday, and I think I got another like 15 plus jars worth of tomatoes inside right now, which I'll have to do either tomorrow or the next day. And then I also got what I thought were yellow habanero peppers. These are starting to confuse me a little bit. I grew habaneros last year and then they were orange and they were much smaller. And I swear this was from the same seed packet, but it's probably just from the same variety new seed packet. And I showed these peppers on my story. Let me get a little closer so you can actually see them. I shared this plant on my Instagram stories like a month ago. And my brother texted me or messaged me and said, I don't think you have habaneros. I think you have Scotch bonnet peppers. And I was like, well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna have a word with Botanical Interest because the seed packet said habaneros. And I was like, they're habaneros, like, don't worry. He might be right because unless yellow habaneros look like this, whew, I don't know. If you guys can let me know, have you ever grown habaneros and then they looked, I guess they look a little bit more orange now. They're just so much bigger than last year, but the plant itself is bigger than last year. So that makes sense for it to produce bigger peppers. I don't know. I don't know if this helps, but this is what they look like when they're ripening. They start off green and then they kind of turn into that orangey yellow. I guess we'll see. I can't taste test it because I'm pretty sure Scotch bonnets are hot too, just like habaneros. Regardless, I'm gonna put them in salsa and it'll be fine, but I am curious about that. So this bed needs to come out today because I've got to get my broccoli planted for fall, and I'm very eager to harvest these because I've been waiting a very, very long time. This, I guess, should have said very first one. When I harvest, I take them out and I immediately cut the greens off because I'm not going to use the greens for anything and I'd rather cut them out here rather than in my kitchen. Okay, you know what? I was about to start this video by saying I'm not excited about this carrot harvest because I think they're gonna be really small, but they're actually decent size. I mean, they're not huge, but they're also not supposed to be huge. This variety, most of these are the Scarlet Nantes variety. So they're not meant to be like really big. They probably could be a lot bigger than this, but kind of feeling good about these so far. I mean, some of them are small, but it's really not that bad. I've learned in gardening, especially this year, with all the issues I've been having with different pests and weather and everything. Oh, this one's silly. Okay. Carrots are so fun because you truly never know what you're gonna get. Does this not look like a little pair of pants or something? This will turn into a dog treat. But what I was saying is I've learned to lower my expectations, because I think that's the key to happiness, is just not expecting too much, and then whatever you end up getting, you'll be very happy with. I think most of these, okay, it's very easy to have a positive attitude when they're decent sized. And then I just pulled a couple that were really small. This bed, it didn't get thinned as much as it should have. I did one big thinning session in the beginning of the season when they were about like 3 or 4 inches tall. And then I really should have came through here and done another one, but I didn't, because I just had other things going on. So I think part of the reason some of these are ending up pretty small is just because they didn't have the room. Other than that, I don't really know, because this bed gets good sun. This bed got a lot of good nutrients in the beginning of the year. And I think these were planted at a good time. So I don't know. I guess if you're really good at growing carrots, maybe leave some info in the comment section of this video for other people, because I don't know that you guys want to take any advice from me on growing carrots, because mine are very small. This is kind of the range we're working with. This size, this is a nice one. But then you've got like little ones like this. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these are going to get freeze dried. My head's cut off. A lot of these are going to get freeze dried. A lot of them are probably going to get blanched and put straight into the freezer. I really like blanching them, putting them in the freezer, because those are great like baby food for Charlie, who's 10.5 months now. She really likes carrots. So blanching them works well, not only for me and Dylan as adult food, but also baby food. So that's probably what I'm going to do with all these, but yeah, not bad, not the best. I'll keep pulling them and we'll see what we get. I just pulled a bunch and they're actually starting to look a lot better. This one is probably the best one so far. And then this whole batch here looks pretty good. So they're actually getting bigger as I'm going through the bed, which is making me very happy, because I was getting a little nervous. It's been a few hours. I ran out of time earlier, but all of the carrots are harvested and they're in this bin. So they're not massive, but they're good size, and they will all get eaten. I am likely going to freeze dry most of these, blanch some of them, and we'll be eating a lot fresh over the next few weeks, and I'll throw just some straight into the refrigerator. I don't know if I'm going to get time to make a long form video on how I'm preserving all these, but I will at least do a short form video just to show you guys all the different ways I'm preserving these. But yeah, not bad for a carrot harvest. Now I really need to get going on planting that broccoli and doing more seed starting. I've got my broccoli seedlings right here, and these are probably the best broccoli seedlings I have ever grown. They are really big, but they're not super leggy. Like the leaves start very low on the plant and they're very beautiful. I didn't think I'd be able to plant these today because I didn't start hardening them off until a couple of days ago, but they've done really well outside in the sun hardening off. I've kind of just like left them for the past few days, and there really isn't much for burning or anything. So I think they're good to go straight into the garden. So this bed and that Blackbirdie's bed are both getting broccoli, along with the bed that we just took the carrots out of. These have both been worked with blood meal and bone meal, but I am going to put a little bit of some like slow release, all purpose, well-rounded granulated fertilizer in there. I was thinking about next year already, because all I do is think about my garden. And I don't know if I might be getting ahead of myself, but I was thinking if this fall harvest goes well, I might skip doing broccoli next spring, because I was reading online and like on the Farmer's Almanac that next summer is supposed to be even hotter than this summer was. And as you guys know, this summer's heat is kind of what killed my spring broccoli this year, made everything bolt prematurely, and I wasn't able to get a good harvest. So if next year's gonna even be hotter, I don't even know if I want to mess around with spring broccoli. So I was thinking about potentially doing a round of bush beans early summer and then put the fall broccoli in the beds that had the bush beans, because bush beans take nitrogen from the air and put it in the soil, and broccoli really needs a lot of nitrogen. So this year, like one of my beds, I did broccoli in the spring and then bush beans, and I was like, why did I do that? Why didn't I do bush beans and then broccoli? Because the broccoli would really benefit from having, like, following up a bush bean crop. So that's what I'm thinking for next year if this fall harvest goes well. I think I've said this on my channel and across all of my social media pages a million times. This is my first year doing this fall broccoli. So please don't use this as like a perfect like how-to video or like advice, because this is my first time and I don't want to lead anybody astray. This is kind of just what I'm thinking. I told myself I was going to label these after I planted them and I never did. But when I planted these, I told the camera what I was planting where. So maybe I'll watch that back and then watch this to figure out what ones are going in what bed, but I don't know, maybe not. I think I'm gonna do 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 in here, 8 in the other one, and 11 in that other one, just like I did in the spring. And then we'll mulch, and then we'll do netting. So not sure what variety this is, but the pink one, oh, this one I didn't realize died. Okay, so I've got 3 seedlings in here. And let's see if I can just, oh my gosh. Not starting off, okay. I was gonna say not starting off on a good foot. This is like, all right. Please come out of here without breaking. Oh my gosh, that made me nervous. Okay, look at that. Nice, beautiful root ball. I love these 4 cells for starting broccoli because broccoli is such a big seedling and these really handle it well. So I'm gonna go 1 here. I'm gonna bury them a little on the deeper side just to help keep them steady. I don't stake my broccoli or anything. I find that they're pretty strong, sturdy plant on their own, but I do plant the seedlings kind of on the deeper side just to bury the stem a little bit. And if you have really leggy seedlings, which I know a lot of people do, I had leggier seedlings last year. Broccoli is really easy to have a leggy seedling with. If you do, just bury the stems, kind of similar to tomato plants, and that should keep it upright and nice for you. This one's got kind of a funky looking stem. So I see this on broccoli all the time where it'll come up and it's kind of like an S almost, or like a weird shape. So I'll bury this, I'll take this one off and then I'll bury it to like here. That way it's straight up. So this is the bed that we got the carrots from this morning, and I just found a little mini carrot. I'll put this over here and I'll give it to one of the dogs later tonight. This basically just got all the nutrients sucked out of it by the carrots. So I need to give it a little something, something back. So I'm gonna give it some, ideally I would have compost. My gosh, I don't wanna be breathing that in. But I don't have compost. I have some of my own compost, but I'm saving it for the fall. So I'm just gonna give some all-purpose organic granular fertilizer, and I'll link everything I'm using in the description. And then I'm giving some blood meal. Blood meal is the one that's high in nitrogen, I think, right? I'm pretty sure. Yes, this one is the one that's really high in nitrogen. And broccoli needs a lot of nitrogen. So I'm putting quite a bit of this blood meal. And then also throughout the season, I'll probably add this into the beds too, just to keep on feeding those plants. And then I'm gonna give it some bone meal, which I'm pretty sure is the one that's high in phosphorus. Yes, high in phosphorus. My memory serves me today. This is going to help root development, and it's going to help the stems and the flower and the broccoli create good, healthy heads. So I'm gonna give it some of this too. I know this is a lot. This is probably more than I would usually do like in the spring before planting, but because I just took carrots out of these beds, I know that this bed is lacking a lot. And typically I would come through here with my rake and rake all of this in. However, when I was pulling up all of the carrots, I was seeing earthworms, and I don't want to risk stabbing an earthworm. So this is my version of no-till. And I'm just gonna work this in to the first few inches with my hands. Get some of these carrot greens. I've also got, I had cucumbers on that side. Bacterial wilt has destroyed all my cucumbers. And then I've got cucamelon on this side, which I don't know if I'll ever do cucamelon again. They're starting to put on little melons. if that's what you want to call them, little cucamelons, but they're so small and they're kind of lame. I don't know. I guess I'll check back in when I actually try one. But so far, I'm kind of like, everybody hypes about these on Instagram and TikTok, and like, not really doing anything. I just went back and watched my video from when I started my seeds to try and figure out what I planted in those first two beds. And I'm like 99% sure that first Birdie's bed on the fence is Imperial. The next one is Bellstar and Eastern Magic. And then what I have left here, I think these three right here are all Bellstar, and this one is an Eastern Magic. So I think what I'm gonna do, I need 11. I'm gonna go, there's 3 in here, so I'm gonna do 3 Eastern Magics, and I'll put them 1, 2, 3 on this side of the bed. And then I need 8 Bellstar, and I'll pull them from these 3 different cells. Okay, it's the next morning. I thought I was gonna finish this yesterday, and then my daughter, Charlie, decided that instead of taking her normal hour-and-a-half afternoon nap, she decided to wake up after 36 minutes, which was lovely. But I'm a mom first, a gardener second, so it was fine. I went in and yeah, that was it for yesterday's planting. Dylan did come through here last night and water all the broccoli in, thank goodness, because while I was planting this yesterday, the soil was incredibly dry. So they at least got some water. But now today I need to finish this and get all of the netting over all of these crops. And then I still have romaine and spinach seeds to sow. And I'm trying to go off memory of how I did this in the spring. I'm pretty sure I did 5 of these little, I don't know, sticks, we'll call them, per hoop. And I think I did 1, 2, I think I did 4. Gosh, what did I do? I should probably count these, and then that would give me a good idea. But I thought I did like in between, like this. I feel like that looks right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I have 3 left, I should have 15 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, okay. That is a nice little win for this morning. Good guessing. Like I said, this is the same setup I used in the spring. It worked out really well against the cabbage moths. I did not have any damage from them. I did have a lot of earwigs all over my broccoli, but that wasn't really a big deal. It was gross and they left a lot of droppings, which I found disgusting, but they didn't actually impact the broccoli at all. So I'm not really gonna do anything about the earwigs if they become another problem this fall. But I am definitely using this netting again because broccoli without cabbage worms is just way easier than broccoli with cabbage worms. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared to put this netting on because it's been in my shed. Oh, and that's a dead, crusty earwig. It's been in my shed for a month. Sheds are just icky. Like, you can have a clean shed and there's still bugs. So hopefully no creepy crawlers get on me doing this. This is the fun part of doing this next to a cattle panel. A cattle panel that has like literally nothing growing on it thanks to all of my cucumbers dying because of the cucumber bugs. Gonna have to do something different next year about those. Now I just got these little metal clips and I'm just gonna clip it into place. This one is totally covered. Looking good, and it's already much neater than, oh wait, what is this? I dropped one. And you know what, where am I missing one? Nowhere? I had to steal the 2 metal clips from this bed in order to have enough to do that bed, which really doesn't make a lot of oh, it does make sense. I was just gonna say it makes no sense because why am I short when I wasn't short in the spring? We moved our shed this spring and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do this and hold the camera. We moved our shed this spring, so I was thinking maybe we lost some clips during that operation, but no, oh my gosh, I've got no skills. Ugh. Okay, let me try switching my hands. Got it. Haha. Okay, this one and then this one. Same thing, but you know what? No, I am missing clips because in the spring I had clips on the tops of all of these. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look in my shed a little harder because that's kind of weird. Last time I listed today, I need to do a few seeds. I filled 72 seed cells with seed starting soil, which is a lot, probably more than I need, but this is my first time doing a lot of these for a fall garden, and I just want like the insurance of a lot of seeds. So that if something goes wrong, I have extra. I'm gonna grow the Vivian romaine lettuce. This is the same variety that I always grow in the spring. Or I say I always grow. I've grown 2 years in a row. So if you saw it this spring, you're about to see it again for fall. I seed start these for the spring inside and then transplant them out. I think I could probably just direct sow them. Actually, I think I did try and direct sow them last year and it didn't really work super well. So I am seed starting these because I just think starting in seed cells is a little easier and guarantees me a little bit better germination than straight into the soil, just because I can keep the seed starting soil nice and moist a lot easier than I can keep the actual like garden bed soil moist. So I'm going ahead and planting 24 seed cells of the Vivian romaine, but I'll probably only plant 12 in that raised bed. And then if I have a lot of really good strong seedlings, I might just find a home somewhere else for the other ones. That romaine is really good, so I feel like I will make room in my garden somewhere, or I'll give it to my parents, or I don't know. I will find somewhere for the romaine. I'm also gonna do 24 seed cells of Bloomsdale spinach. This is a really old seed packet. Hopefully you can still see what these ones are. I usually grow really good spinach, but the last couple of years I've had some trouble with my spinach, so I'm gonna seed, and I always direct sow them directly into my grow bags, but because I've had some issues, I'm going to seed start them in hopes that helps me out a little bit. I have 6 grow bags. I'm starting 24 seeds. I'm thinking I'll probably put like 2 plants per grow bag, so 12. So that leaves me 12 extra, similar to the romaine. I'll find a home for them somewhere. I am also gonna do some of this dwarf blue curled Scotch kale. I don't think I've ever grown this before. I don't even know where I got this seed packet from. I must have been in a nursery somewhere this spring and saw it and thought it looked good. But this is kind of another one. I don't know exactly where I'll put it. Maybe I'll put it in the broccoli beds because kale is susceptible to those cabbage worms just like the broccoli. And the netting over the broccoli is kind of the only like netting solution I have for the garden. So maybe if I put the kale in with those, they'll be protected. I don't know, we'll have to see how these do. The broccoli is already so much further ahead that if I put the kale in there, the broccoli might end up shading it, but I don't know. I'll find a spot for the kale and I'll find a netting solution. But yeah, 24 of those. So just three different greens or lettuce varieties going in, seed cells for a fall harvest. And then I'm not gonna put that tray inside. I'm just gonna keep it outside. And once they germinate and get a couple true leaves, I'll plant them out in the garden and I'll show you guys that. But other than that, I think that's it for today's video. We did a lot. We harvested carrots, planted broccoli, and did more seed starting. So this is all fall garden things. And on the comments what you guys are growing for fall. If there's anything else that you think I should add to the garden, definitely let me know. I still think there's a little bit of time for seed starting, and I just love to hear from you guys and what you're growing too. So let me know if you have any comments on any of these varieties or anything in the comment section. Again, I will leave links to these seeds, except this dwarf blue curled Scotch kale. I don't know, I literally don't even know what this is from, but I'll look online for something similar, and I will leave links to the netting that I use for the broccoli. But other than that, I think that's all you should need. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed gardening with me today. And if you want to see more of my gardening content and you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you like this video, please leave a like. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Those links will be in the description of this video, just like they're pretty much in every video. And yeah, thank you for clicking on this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.